Guys, I was working through John 15, and I ran across where Jesus said, I am the vine, and my Father is the vine dresser, and you are the branches. I think that's the very first verse. And I began to see it more clearly than I've seen in the past. And when you think about that, we know that we have to stay in the vine, we have to stay in Jesus Christ to bear fruit. And he says that. He's like, if you don't bear fruit, you're going to get snipped away. You're going to be pruned away. And then he says, but my Father is the vine dresser. And so obviously we want to be bearing fruit so that we don't get cut off or cast away. And then with that comes the obvious thing that if there is awful and evil, terrible things in your life, that God wants to cut them out of your life. It could be that just absolute drinking or gambling or lustful thinking has really taken your mind off of the things of Christ, and you're not being productive as much of a human being as you should be. And so God would definitely try to be pruning those things out of your life. But there's a higher concept there. And I feel pretty dumb for not realizing this before. But a pruner, a gardener, doesn't just prune off the dead branches. They actually sometimes prune off entire new branches or the sucker branches. And let's say you have 15 or 20 branches, they might pare you down to 3 or 4 branches. So what this would tell us is that if you are in the vine, if you are in Jesus Christ and you are letting him flow through you, yes, you could do good in maybe 15 different areas. But if God is the vine dresser, if he's the husbandman, there's times he'll come along and cut something good out of your life. And as he cuts this good thing out of your life, it is so you actually produce more good in another area. Now, if you're like myself, the Lord has done that to you. And he will take things that are good and that you are skilled with, and he will pull them out of your hands. And you're like, but God, I'm good at that. I produce fruit in that area. Why would you take it away from me? And if that's the case, it's because God knows it would actually be better resources channeled in another direction. And so whereas we would like to produce fruit, we do want to do good things. If the Lord is pruning not just the bad out of our life, but he is paring down our life and streamlining it and harnessing us directly only towards certain causes, it's so we can bear good, healthy, and larger fruit in that capacity. I hope this is much of a blessing to you as it is to me, because it's just easier for me to go along and to accept those things, because I have skills that I am not allowed to use. It doesn't matter how many times I've tried to use them. God just kind of shuts that door. He shuts that door again and again and again, and I end up bearing fruit in other places, and he knows what the outcomes would be and which ones would be the best outcomes. So we should obviously just leave the pruning in his hands.